Hi, Joe fans, Joe Motion Videos 82 here. It is time for a G.I. Joe toy review, and I need my glasses, at least briefly. Oh, sorry, this has been a little behind. I explained on Tuesday I wasn't feeling all that great, doing much better. Had a little infection going on up here, so it's sinuses and all that good stuff. So you guys know how miserable those get. So anyway, geez, that was a lousy intro, wasn't it? Gosh, I'll just leave that in just for the sake of it. It's Saturday and I feel like being a little goofy. So in celebration of December, every year I look at an Arctic figure, either G.I. Joe or Cobra, and I will keep on doing that until I have reviewed them all. So I have picked one that's very special. This is the Mountain and Arctic Assault by Palitoy. It's a part of the Action Force line that was released in the United Kingdom. Action Force was England's version or the UK's version of G.I. Joe. They did not use the name G.I. Joe because it sounded too American, and which it is. G.I. Joe is specifically American. That name came from Ernie Pyle, a war correspondent in World War II who unfortunately lost his life amidst his call of duty. He coined the phrase G.I. Joe, and Joe at one point in time meant every guy, your average Joe, your everyday individual. And they were GIs, your general intelligence. They were soldiers, your average soldier, your average Joe. So that's where that term had come from. Actually, there's a very good movie starring Burgess Meredith that had come out in the 50s, late 50s, early 60s, specifically titled G.I. Joe. So I suggest you guys check that out. It is pretty cool. I haven't been able to find any full movies on YouTube of that specific one, but if I did, I'd include it in the link. It is really good, so I suggest that you guys check that out if you get a chance. Oh, so when Palitoy started the Action Force line, it had started in 1980. The figures were right on the heels of Star Wars. Star Wars had just come out, episode 4 in 1977, so it was still smoking hot at that time. We were just getting ready for Empire Strikes Back in 1980, and that 4-point articulation, 5-point, given the head that swivels, was the standard for action figures, save for a few other lines like Micronauts. They use the O-ring multiple point articulation. So the 5-point was pretty much the standard. So they started off with the 5-point articulation, and it wasn't until later on down the line when the molds for American G.I. Joe were released, and Palitoy started using those for the Z-Force, as we would call it here in the States, or Z-Force, as they would call it there in the UK. And So you see the familiar faces, like the Red Jackal, which was Destro, and Baron Ironblood switched over to the Cobra Commander uniform. Um, so thank you very much, matey, for letting me know about that one. I didn't know about that, but in the Action Force story, Ironblood just shed that uniform and put on Cobra Commander's uniform and became essentially um, their Cobra Commander. So, uh, good, very good friend of mine. I don't want to mention his name because I had permission to. Uh, is a nurse over in the UK. He and I have been corresponding quite a bit about the COVID. So, finally, thank goodness, a vaccine has been released. So I strongly suggest you guys get it once it's available to the general public. First responders, the frontline people are getting it first. Healthcare and first responders are getting it first. I think this is the first time where I would say yes. Don't give it to the general public first. Give it to us because we're coming in contact with it, and it's very selfish, and I feel guilty for saying that, but we need that protection in order to keep you guys healthy and strong. So we can give it to you once we have it, and we're running strong with inoculations, and there have only been a few cases where people have a bad allergic reaction, but that could be quickly reversed with an EpiPen. So don't let that scare you. Every drug has a potential for a bad allergic reaction or an adverse effect. Okay, you see these new drugs all the time on TV, right? And your doctor's saying, hey, try this, try this, try this. The risk of that is so low, very, very low, that it the benefits outweigh it. So please, please, I implore you guys, get it done. Get the vaccine, get the booster, follow your doctor's care. So my PSA is over. So anyway, back to Action Force and its history. Of this specific one, the Mountain Arctic Assault, came out in 1982, and I found a few online, so I'll be able to do a little bit of Byron's gripes on this. But this specific character doesn't have a name, so you could give him any name that you want. Uh, but they had the mold for GI Joe, so they had a lot of um, action figures, a lot of molds that we are familiar looking at. And if you go back a few reviews, I reviewed the SAS, or not the, oh, I did that, but the Panther, their SAS Panther, which had a repaint of Snake Eyes in there, and the Panther is just, it's a vamp recolored, and they had the Howl and a copy of the Fang. So it really started to integrate. And I actually did not know that these specific action figures, the 5-pointers, existed uh, until a few years back, when somebody had sent them to HCC for him to review. And I thought, I got to get my hands on some of those. And I do. I have, I don't want to say quite a few, but I have, I don't know, about 10 pieces from that. Most of them are um, incomplete, but I have a lot of their SAS troops, and that's one of my favorite lines there. I have a parachute, a complete SAS radioman, And I actually have a carded SAS Pilot, and we'll look at this closer when we look at the action figure. But I bought this from a gentleman in Belgium right at the height of COVID, and it took almost 3 months for it to get here. And just looking at the back with all the different figures, oh my gosh, it is so cool. This is something that I want to really investigate further. So we'll take a look at this, and no, I will not ever open this. That will stay carded until the glue gives out on the bubble, and then I'll look at it. But it's been carded all these years, and there's no point in taking that one off, especially since it's harder to get the carded version here in the States. So, as you guys know or may not know, since I only do this once a year, that I like the Arctic troops. Cobra, G.I. Joe, it doesn't matter. The winter is my favorite season, always. Well, has not always been my favorite. It's become a very close favorite since I moved out here. The fall and winter months are my favorite, not only because of Halloween, but because it starts getting cooler. And it rained yesterday, or day before yesterday. So today's Saturday. So yeah, it rained Thursday all day. Started early or late at night and just went on all day long. That's the first rainfall we had seen in close to a year. So it's a very precious thing out here, and it's amazing to see what comes to life during the rain. A lot of wild animals come out and drink their fill of water and just enjoy it. They take a bath, see the birds bathing in the middle of a downpour. When it's safe enough for them, they'll get out and roll around in mud puddles and stuff. It's amazing just seeing what comes out after it rains. So anyway, I'm not going to bend your ears anymore on this. I will finish up. We just have one more chapter left in this, so I'll finish that up sometime next week. Christmas Carol. So let's go ahead and take a look at this magnificent action figure. He is very cool. This I bought from a guy, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but from a guy in Ireland. This was from his childhood, so I'm the second owner of it, and this kid took extremely good care of it. So this was a very loved vehicle and action figure. So here we go. Let's take a look at it. No, your phone or device is not messing up. I switched to a different camera setting to zoom in on this. That way you won't pick up all the background of what's going on. Here he is. The Mountain Arctic Assault, or Arctic Mountain Assault. This is a very simplistic looking vehicle, so let's go ahead and look at that first. I am not sure if it came with 2 antennae, but he said it was complete, so I'm taking his word for it. So I'm thinking that both of the skis could fit. Now, what that was intended for. But it came with this antenna. There might be supposed to be another one, unless I had lost it, which I would not be happy about that. But I do remember him saying it was complete, or an aerial. Very simple. It just plugs into the back of the Arctic Assault here. It came with 2 skis. Gotta be careful with these because they're
starting to bend over by the peg. Very similar to what Snow Job had, but that wouldn't make sense because Snow Job did not come out until 3 years later. But these peg right into the bottom of his feet. This is my first time doing this. I didn't really have much time to look at him, so my mother was still in the hospital at the time when this arrived. So when it came, I just put it in a bag and stored it away. So there's still a little bit of dirt, Irish dirt on it from over there. So yeah, the skis fit on there very nicely, which that does not surprise me. The figure came with 2 ski poles. Came with this very nice looking weapon. I'm sure this is reminiscent of real world. It's taunting my memory. It looks like it has a potential for a collapsible stock. So very nice weapon there. And he came with this soft plastic backpack. It looks like there's a storage area here where you could put his ski poles through or his skis. And this just straps onto his chest. And since I have the figure out, we'll look at him too now. But the backpack has 2 nice little pockets on it, and on the back there's more pouches and a flap. Nice detail on this backpack. They didn't have the holes in the back, so these just simply strapped onto the figure. You can see it's hollow on the inside. And they closed around these little posts onto the backpack. The figure, you can see, is 5-point articulation himself. He has 2 more pockets added here onto a snowsuit or pouches, and another one on his belt. Looks like he has a dagger here on his backside, and a dagger or stiletto, and a canteen. He's wearing this really cool helmet that's non-removable with a fixed mouthpiece, and headset attached to the helmet, and yeah, his head does move side to side. The ski poles would fit into his hands as so. So you can tell that these are, this is Star Wars, to me. It has that feel. It has the feel of the plastic is very similar to that of what Kenner used, and it's just that articulation that we're all very used to. Oh, he also has more pouches here on his shoulders. Also, these high gauntlet style gloves. Very cool action figure. I like this guy quite a bit. And looking at the Snowmobile, you can see it has these treads on the bottom. It says Action Force and CPG Products Core 1981. These 2 fixed skis on the front. Some stickers to indicate that this is a tracked vehicle. Has this wide seat in the front, and you can see down here there's a sticker panel, and the legs just fit in those holes there. Really cool. This is a nice heavy plastic. I like it. It does not roll, but you have to push it along the floor or in the snow. It says Action Force and AF for Action Force 9. Very neat little play set. So you just stick the action figure in as so, Plug his skis back in. Put the antenna back on. The poles go right along there, and put his gun in there too, and he's set to go. Now, looking at this SAS pilot, spelled and I got different languages on there. See, he's pretty cool. He's that 5-point articulation. All the SAS are decked out in black. He has looks like a life vest, a pistol up there in the top. I'm not sure. Oh, the rubber band is supposed to secure the life vest on, I'm sure. And that is an ammo box up at the top. Now, this is an example of what they have over there. And a lot of these are making their way down here to the United States. Let me shut the light off so we don't get such a glare on there. But these guys are just so cool. Look at that. Here's a familiar one right here. This is the flak. That's the ram cycle with Quarrel. I have her. And then what our version of the Mobat. I have this parachute and figure. And there's the Jeep I was talking about. And another in the Howl. So this is what was available around that time. So there has all their names on there. I'm not going to read them all, so if you want to pause that, look at the names. That's pretty cool. A lot of figures out there. A whole lot of them. All right. So G.I. Joe is certainly international, which is fabulous. Of course, it's G.I. Joe over in India, where it's made by Fun School, and G.I. Joe in a lot of other countries, but the UK has Action Force. And these toys have brought us together as a collector community, as a brotherhood. And I mean that to include women too, just the general term of brotherhood. It is really nice. I've made a lot of friends through G.I. Joe, and I will continue making them. It's amazing how powerful nostalgia and a piece of plastic could be, that could bring us together, sharing these really cool memories. I know if I would have seen these as a kid, I would have eaten them up, and I would have used those along with Star Wars, because they fit that feel and that articulation group. I could not put G.I. Joe and Star Wars together no matter how hard I tried. It just did not feel right to me. It didn't feel organic. But these would have worked. Sorry, I don't have childhood memories for this guy. But man, those would have been so cool to own back then. But like I said, I didn't know that this was even out until a few years ago. I could safely say less than 6 years. So let me get into my favorite segment of called Byron's Gripes. For those of you just joining, and thank you to those who have recently subscribed, you are now enrolled in the giveaway. When I reach 500, I will be giving away a Python Patrol Asp, one of these Snake Eyes action figures. There's one other I can't remember.
But there's two separate giveaways. Oh, how could I forget the Gold Head Destro, the um, Profit Director Destro, the 6-inch. He's staring right at me. So two separate giveaways, one for my channel supporters and another for everybody who has subscribed, minus the channel supporters. So, check out that giveaway announcement. It says 500 prize announcement giveaway or something like that. 500 subscriber prize announcement. So when I reach that mark, I am 41 away from reaching that goal. I'll be able to give those prizes out. I'll draw your names out of a box. So I do Byron's Gripes to give you guys an idea of what the prices are. I use eBay for the mere convenience of it. It's not to pick on eBay or the sellers. I pick on the prices, you betcha, because they are pretty stupid. They get in the ridiculous range, especially for some of the more exclusive action figures. Right now, Action Force, the prices are pretty steady. I'm sure, have climbed up as popularity has grown, but that's just natural. Okay, so if you're looking for this play set or this figure and vehicle, there is one that's incomplete. It's missing some of the accessories with the driver for $45.12. Be prepared for a high dollar value for shipping, because international shipping the prices have gone up quite a bit on that. So I won't even quote those shipping prices because those sound about right. The Snowmobile by itself, $6.05. And there are two incomplete snowmobiles, meaning none of the parts that attach to it, plus three drivers, $46.38. So I'm going to put that as the deal of the day. You get three action figures and two vehicles. So even if these guys aren't complete, just merely owning something from this history of G.I. Joe, this part of the collection line, is a thrill. I don't care if they're complete or not. I have several incomplete action figures. I have Iron Blood and several incomplete SAS action figures, and I will only review them if they are complete. So like I said, I was told this snowmobile was complete, and it looks to be that way. I think there's just a spare hole on there, and if it's not, let me know, and I'll put out a hard target search for that extra antenna in this very crowded collection room / studio. So there you have it, guys. The Arctic Mountain Assault, or Mountain Arctic Assault. Very cool. And a brief review of a carded figure. And I did that mainly so you guys could see what was available. The packaging is pretty plain compared to what was released with the G.I. Joe line. This, to me, has a more feel of an action, or a Fisher Price Action People line. Just the similar coloring to it, and just the plainness of it. They let the action figure be the star, not the card. So that's pretty cool. Good way of advertising. For me, the big attraction was the card art, and I'm sure it was the same for a lot of kids too. It showed that action figure as if he were a real individual, and then the action figure was kind of like the co-star. So I like that they did this type packaging. So there you have it, guys. Please stay safe out there, stay warm. For those of you who are finding snow, and those of you in South America, welcome to summer. I hope that it's a mild one for you guys, and still keep your heads down. Remember, please continue wearing your masks, social distance, wash your hands. It's a big important part right there. That's your first line of defense, or is hand washing. And so your social distancing, because when somebody sneezes, the furthest it could go at a projectile is about 6 feet. Then most of it falls out and the rest aerosolizes, and that could stay in the air for 2 hours. The virus is still pretty much alive in that time too. So that's the importance of wearing a mask, because you never know indoors if you're walking through somebody's spit cloud. That's pretty much what it is. So you wearing a mask protects other people, and it's also protecting you from those who don't wear one. So it's a two-way street. So if you think, well, this is all foolish and it's not necessary to wear a mask, for those of you who do, you're safe. So please keep it going. This is almost over. We are starting to see some light at the end of the tunnel. So hopefully by, I'd say, June, that we'll have this pretty much under control. So we're not completely out of the woods yet, guys. It's going to be a rough holiday season. It's already been a rough holiday season. Please, use extreme judgment and caution when going to parties. Be my suggestion that you don't, but if you have close family that you know are safe, spend it with close family. But as far as big open, parties for at work and stuff like that, like I say, use your judgment. You're adults. We'll just leave it at that. We need some way of decompressing, don't we? It's just nuts. This has brought out the worst in people. This is a time in history where I really don't want to look back on with fondness. Definitely with reverence. I'll tell you that. So enough of that. You guys stay safe. Enjoy the snow if you can. I know it's a real pain in the butt to drive in, but enjoy the beauty that it brings. Sit by a fireplace if you have it, or a wood burning stove, and just listen to it crackle, and just enjoy the beauty of that, and your family, and your Christmas decorations, or Hanukkah, or whatever holiday you choose to decorate for and celebrate. Even if it's Kwanzaa, or not Kwanzaa, I'm sorry. Well, Kwanzaa is a holiday, that's definitely so, but it's taking a Festivus. So your aluminum pole up in the corner of your house. So anyway, guys, stay safe out there. Take care. We'll see you next week for another G.I. Joe toy review. So this is Joe Motion Videos 82 saying, be kind to animals. Yeah, they know nothing but unconditional love. And they like the snow too, so let them outside and let them play in it. So we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.